Welcome to the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast with host Jacqueline Burke. Today's special guest is Trudy Simpson.
Welcome to our podcast, Trudy. Thank you for joining us. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. I'm really good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Good. Yeah, enjoying the
Good.
weather.
Oh, I know it's so beautiful. Just could just sit
Yeah,
out there, sit on
yeah,
the step.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We start out our podcast by asking you to revisit who you were as a child and what your dreams were. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Wow. Who was I? I was really shy when I was little. Really shy. I wouldn't leave my mom's side.
Yeah.
Then I got to school and that changed. I was just go. But no, I don't know. It was a good childhood. It's typical early 60s.
Yeah.
Play outside till the street lights came on and
Yeah.
we lived in Penticton when I was young.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and a block away from the beach.
Oh,
So
nice.
that was neat. And I would like when I was 8, about the time I was about 8, that you wouldn't do it now for sure, but
Yeah.
I just I'd go down and my mom would say, be home for lunch.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to come home for lunch and head back. And she'd ask somebody what time it is because you got to be home at 5. And I said, okay. And off I went. Sometimes I'd meet my friends, sometimes I wouldn't. And she went about her thing. She didn't want to go to the beach, so I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. It's a
And
different world,
yeah,
right?
big difference now. And what did I thought I toyed with I wanted to be a stewardess for a while, but I was too short.
Oh,
And I thought about being a nurse. Then I can't stand the sight of blood. It makes me pass out.
yeah.
So that was that didn't work. I had no desire to be a teacher. And I was just kind of didn't really want to continue on with school. So I took off stuff and went into doing that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
good.
And
So who inspired you as a child? Who did you look up to?
hmm, that's a really good question. Um, I had a couple of aunts that were pretty cool that I kind of looked up to. And I had one teacher that was really cool that I did look up to. She was just a brand new teacher. And this was I think she was in about grade 4. No, we were in grade 4. She wasn't in grade 4. Um, but she was young and hip and had a Mustang
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah. So she was pretty influential.
Well, yeah, you have a lot of flair, Trudy. You do.
I
I've
tried.
knowing you. You've
Oh, I
inspired
just
me and not even known it.
yeah, and I think thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I think had I known it existed, but in 1976 Penticton, you didn't really know anything about that, and if you weren't an artsy type of person, you didn't you weren't really in the art classes. But had I known it such a thing existed, I think I would have maybe gone to school for something in fashion,
Yeah.
designing or merchandising or something like that.
Oh, that would have been fun.
It would
Um,
have been fun.
yeah. I mean, and those were the days like in the say the early 80s where you could really go and like you could freely go to places like Los Angeles or New York and pursue
Mhm.
that career, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
again, I guess like the world's changed, but we find our way, to do
yeah,
what we're meant to do. Um,
yeah.
so how did you be like what interest did you have that made you go into the career you have today?
Well, I went into office work, which was relatively easy to get into. And
Mm.
back then, you didn't need to have a degree to do the books for somebody, or,
Yeah.
you just learned as you went. So that's what I did. And I worked for a couple different places. And then I got on at WCB,
Yeah.
which now I think you need a Bachelor of Commerce or something to even
Oh,
just
wow.
get into. And I was there for 10 years.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of got a little bit higher up, and then they closed our office. And so I took some time off, and I just happened to apply just because I was getting bored, and I had to wait out my severance before EI kicked in for this tiny little local newspaper. It was just a freebie thing.
Mhm.
And so then I got that job, and I worked there for about a year, and then that closed. But the guy that owned it had the development company where I work now,
Okay.
and the office manager was leaving. So I just moved over there, and I've been there now for 28 years.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic. And no one really
Yeah.
gets that anymore, do they? They don't
No,
stay and have that longevity and
no, it's not even expected to think that you would.
yeah, that's true. Like it's funny, you look at some of the ads out there on Indeed and you see the same thing running every 3 months at least.
Yeah,
Like there's a
yeah,
huge turnover.
there
Yeah.
is. And I know someone that was looking for a job that applied to one of the accountants in town, and well, no, we don't really want you for the full-time job, but we'd like you for the overflow for tax time.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not leaving this job to go
Yeah.
for a 3-month job, type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot of turnover, but it was it's it's a good place to be, I guess. It's not a great paying place, but I have a lot of freedom. And when mom was still alive, I would just pick up and go if I had
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
for her, take her to appointment. And there was, nobody said anything about it. And it's still that way. I go to the bank, do my banking, and stop and do an errand of my own
Oh,
on the way.
yeah, that's
You know,
wonderful.
and if I decided that I wanted to take next Thursday, Friday off as holidays, I would.
Oh,
I could do it on Monday,
yeah.
you know.
Right on.
So there are perks to it.
Yeah.
And so
So how did you get interested in your side hobby that you do?
in yoga,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, well, I had stayed opened a gym across Dunmore Road there from where our office
Yeah.
used to be. And so it was only women's. And so one of the gals who actually happens to be one of my owner's sisters um, worked in the same building. She had an insurance company in that building. So we joined up together, and we would go over at noon together. And so I did that for quite a while. And then one Christmas, I ended up with pneumonia.
Oh,
And I wasn't working out at all, really. And so then my boss's wife was telling me that she went to yoga there at this certain gym. And I thought, well, maybe that's a good way to get, back into doing something after a couple of months. So I did, and I liked it. I was decent at it.
yeah.
And so I took it. And then every once in a while, this woman that had the gym, somebody would need something or something would be going on. And she'd just say, Trudy, just take over. And I thought, okay. So I did. And then I thought, she was also certified to certify you.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if I'm doing this, I should maybe get paid for it.
Yeah.
Right? So that summer, I took a couple weeks off and did a really, really intensive program to like teacher training,
Mhm.
and then worked my 200, like whatever, what was it, 120 hours that I had left without pay,
Mhm.
taught classes. And then I got certified, and it's fun. And it was something I also wanted to do because I'm not good at public speaking or anything.
Mhm.
And I thought maybe that this would be a little thing to kind of It's relaxed. It's easy.
Yeah.
Get a little growth in there somewhere, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
a little, what would you say? Growth, I guess, is a
Yeah.
good. So
Get you
that's
out of
what I
your
did.
shell. Yeah.
Pardon?
It gets you
Pardon?
out of your shell.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it
yeah,
gets
yeah.
you like familiar with talking to people and yeah.
Hmm. And I seem to be doing okay at it. I have some real loyal
Yeah.
followers that have moved studios with me. And I've been at Yoga Euphoria, where I am right now. I've been there for 11 years. And I think I've been doing this now for darn near 20, 19 or
Oh my
20.
goodness. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
excellent. Yeah. So do you do group sessions or do you do one-on-ones or
I've done a couple one-on-ones on my own,
okay.
just in somebody's home.
Yeah.
I did one. Yeah, we did one.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but I haven't done it. That's right. I haven't done any one-on-ones for a long time. So it's all group. I
Okay.
do alternate 2 to 3 noon hours a week and then one evening one.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
so
so how do you balance your day life with your yoga life and then at home? So how do you find that balance?
well, the I do the noon hour classes. So this Yoga
Oh,
Euphoria isn't very far from where I work. So I zip over there at lunchtime.
oh, so you do it
Zip that.
okay.
Yeah, during my workday. And I used to go to the gym at lunchtime anyway, so it's not really anything different. And I eat when I get back to my desk,
Yeah.
right? And then Thursday night it's just 6:45, so it's just not home too long, and then home early enough again that
Yeah.
we were late dinner eaters anyway, so it's kind of dinner time. And the rest of the time, I don't do a whole lot. I don't do a whole lot other than be home in the evenings.
Oh, that's
I
good.
do.
Yeah. I
I
didn't
do take
realize
one.
that. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I do take one class Monday, but that's right after work. So
Okay.
and so and then I'm home. Saturdays I lunch or something, or you
Yeah.
know, run errands, see some friends or whatever. And then Sunday is my dedicated home day.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
realize you did lunch hour yoga.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
yeah. Just it's a 40-minute class,
Okay.
and yeah, and those are my I love them.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. So
Yeah.
with if you were to like with what you know now, if you were
Hmm.
to speak to little Trudy, what advice would you give little Trudy who's in Penticton
I
in
would
following
say
her dreams?
I would say go get some more school.
Yeah.
Think about what you like and go and find out what there is about it. Like I always love clothes. Um, and I mean, there wasn't really internet access then either,
Yeah.
right? Because it didn't exist. But get on the phone, get on, you know, find so however we found things back then. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But get looking, find something, and be a little bit of a made of sterner stuff
Yeah.
at that age. I've got rhino hide now, and I have for many years, but um, find find some backbone and do it. Well, I did. I
Yeah.
did have backbone. I stood up and did what I wanted to do, but not what I didn't dig for what I could do. So do some digging.
Yeah.
Again, is what I would say. Do some digging and
Yeah.
find things out.
Do you find when we're first starting out, that it's hard to conquer the fear of the what ifs and what if that
Yeah,
can, how would you, um, like, what would you tell someone who was a little fearful of taking a risk? if it meant getting what they wanted.
Just do it. If you fall on your face, you get back up again.
Yeah.
And that's just, you're never, like, nothing is ever permanent.
Yeah.
Nothing bad is ever permanent. And there's always something out there, and learn that if this doesn't work, then maybe something better is going to work.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not the end of the world if you fall on your face.
Yeah.
You'll
Well,
just
actually, it's
skin
a good
you.
thing too.
Yeah, and it can be a good thing to fall
Yeah.
on your face. There's some lessons that you really need to learn, right?
Yeah. You just have to, give it a shot. And if you wipe out, you get back up and
That's right.
dust
And
yourself off and there you
cool.
go.
And the other thing to tell somebody is that somebody's opinion of you is not your business.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not your business. It's not your problem. How they think, how they feel, how they react to you. If it's not good, they're the ones that are stewing over it, not you.
That's right. Absolutely. I agree.
Right?
I agree 100%.
So just go out there. And if you screw up, like I screw up in class sometimes too, and just make a joke out of it.
Yeah,
Laugh about it. Life is just too short to be too serious.
absolutely. Oh yeah. You think if everyone just listened to that little bit of advice there, how much peaceful it would be.
Mm-hmm.
They'd laugh more.
Mm-hmm.
You got to laugh at yourself sometimes if you mess up, you
Well,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, there's just, and things come and go, and people come and go.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're there when you need them to be there, but then they're not the people that should be in your life all the time, right?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I try to tell myself that, well, you know what? I've had certain experiences in my life that make me who I am, and they've had
Mm-hmm.
different experiences in
Yeah.
their that makes them who they are, but sometimes they don't click. You're on
Right.
different paths.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing wrong with that. You just
No.
show respect and
Yeah,
away you go.
exactly. Exactly. We all have to do what we have to do.
Oh, yeah. So do you have any challenges within your career at all? Like, is it pretty easy for you to settle in and do your job, or is there, like, aside from worldly challenges that have cropped up?
My day job, you mean?
Yeah, or both, because you do yoga in the day as well. So, do you find any
Yeah. Okay.
challenges?
You know, I don't have a real hard job.
Okay.
It's really hard. And I mean, it would, somebody's not going to walk in there tomorrow and do it. But
Mhm.
I, I've been there, like I say, for 28 years. So there's not really much that there was some hiccups earlier on
Yeah,
that kind of personality clashes with some people and with one of the owners, and but that's smoothed out over the years. And as far as actual work wise goes, no, I
yeah. You're able to
it's
multitask.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And yoga, sometimes I just um, sometimes when you have somebody really new,
yeah.
it can be a bit of a challenge, like a first timer or an older person. Or I remember one time I was doing a class at one of the physiotherapist offices for some of her patients, and she had two blind ladies that
Oh,
came with their dogs, and one was just super,
yeah.
just super. The other one was very self-entitled, and I mean, I was even over beside her. I said, just put your hands here and just feel what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and you can, literally spelling things out. And she, just, she was a little frustrating because she just left
Oh,
and she wasn't, but she didn't put herself out there either. So
yeah,
when you find that when you're trying to accommodate somebody and they just want more and more and more,
yeah.
it can get a little frustrating, but she was like the anomaly to things.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes new people can be a little hard to depending on the person.
Yeah, yeah,
And but then some are a little what's the word I want to say? They're a little unsure of themselves because they don't
yeah.
know. And
There's,
if you just and I just blather on. I'm yammering about what are they doing, what are they here, what are they, and just talk to them.
yeah.
And finally well, she's not going to shut up, so I might as well talk back, right? And so now, and then you get along and you just chatter. So she chatters too when she comes in now.
That's
So
good. Yeah, it's just kind
yeah,
of, and again, getting out of their shell too, right? And
yeah,
trying something
exactly.
new, and yeah, it's just taking that first step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's when a friend of mine owned, I actually taught at her studio. If you remember Heartbreakers.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had a gym and she had an aerial studio and whatnot. So I taught for a season, I taught yoga for her, and then the times conflicted, and so I didn't teach anymore. But she also had a pole studio.
Yeah.
And so one day, I don't know, we were messaging. I had to message her about something. You should start, like, sign up. And I said, I'm old.
Oh,
Like, I was about 57 at the time. I said, there's no people. She said, I'm old too. And I said, well, not as old as me, but she was supposed to be instructing it. So I said, all right, I'll give it a go. And then she instructed the first class, and then somebody else came along who turned out to be absolutely amazing. But it was fun.
yeah.
It was so much fun. And the 8 weeks were up, and Tony's like, said something, and I said, yeah, I'm going to miss it. And he said, well, sign up again.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, okay, yeah, that's a thought. Um, so I just kept going, and it took me about a year and a half. Like, I could do nothing. I couldn't climb. I could spin a bit, but it
Yeah.
was just fun. And there's a couple sessions where there's some young girls that weren't particularly, I think, thought that I shouldn't be there, that
Oh,
maybe one of their friends should be there instead. And then I got into a group. There's a new group that came, and I made some good friends. And then I think I was there about a year and a half. And she says, why don't you try? Just give it. And I inverted. I
oh,
never ever was expecting to do that. I had no ever thought of doing that
yeah.
I would be able to do that. And I did it. And damn it, I did it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
That's okay.
Um, and so after that, then I did. And I mean, I was slower than everybody. I wasn't as graceful as everybody, but I could invert. I could do different
Yeah.
poses. And I just loved it then I partially tore a rotator cuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I did it for about 6 years. And then I quit and haven't been back.
Oh, that's
But I
awesome.
loved it and I really missed it. And every night I would go and Tony would say, don't fall on your head. And then first 2 or 3 years, I thought, well, God won't let me fall on my head because I have to look after my mother.
Yes.
And I did fall off a couple times, but not on my head. But that was a lot of fun. That was just something crazy. Just something crazy that
Oh,
I
that's
don't even,
amazing.
yeah. And then I ended up meeting two of them. Um, One is in her 40s and one is in her 20s. And I'm in my 60s.
Mhm.
And we just got to be good friends. And we still kind of meet up for coffee and whatnot once in a while.
Oh, that's cool. See,
Yeah.
you just gotta step outside of that box, right? Because you
Yeah. Right.
never know what opportunity
Yeah.
or how much fun you're gonna have. And yeah,
Yeah.
what a blessing that is to have in your life, like that enjoyment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And then I've never drawn anything but a stick figure in my life, right? And then what year was it? 2022, when Tony had his bypass. I had gone, well, before that, I had gone to this art journaling class with a friend of mine, and I really enjoyed it. So I did some of that. And so then I took a little bit of art stuff with me to Calgary because I knew I'd be sitting in the hospital and, the hotel and whatever. And you can't read 24, all the time.
Yeah.
Well, then I started to draw a bit. And then I did this online. Well, it was on, it was a Facebook daily drawing prompt. And so you would do this or do that or whatever the day came. And then I love Art Deco. I've always loved Art Deco.
Oh, yeah.
And so then a couple of years ago, I started doing these, or no, maybe a year or so ago. I don't know. Can't remember. These Art Deco ladies.
Yeah.
And if you look on my Facebook page, I just put one up last night.
Okay.
And so when I put them up, I make up a story.
Yeah.
Like, because they're from the 20s and 30s. So I make up a story then that I post with the picture.
Oh,
so I've got a few of them on my feed. So you can scope them out there if you're interested. But, so that's something I could do.
Yeah.
Pardon?
That's fun. I'll go check that out for sure. Yeah. Oh, wow. See, so you're very artistic. The creativity is there, right? Were you always like that? Like growing up, like quite creative or?
I was crafty and I love clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of cross stitch. I did some embroidery for a while. I used to sew clothes all the time. But I need a pattern. I can't visualize.
Yeah.
I can visualize something in my head, but I would have no idea how to cut a piece of fabric that you could put together to look like it. So I used to sew a lot of clothes. So yeah, in that way, I guess I have been, but never pencil and, paintbrush or pencil, something like that. No.
Huh. Yeah, it's okay. So, as a child, like you had creativity, but now that you've grown and you've become an adult, you're using it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I think back on it, my mom must have had some too, because she was kind of a doodler and a sketcher a little bit and whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's so neat. Okay, so I have one more question for you. So we're going to talk about humor.
Okay.
Okay. So if you find yourself down or having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself laugh or smile or carry on and end your day in a positive note? I find I get a lot of questions from people that have listened to our podcast. And one of the questions is, how do you get out of a funk in the day? Like, how do you find that smile again?
Well, if it's a funky funk, I will just wallow in it today.
Yeah.
I will take it and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And just stay there and enjoy it and live it and then tell it to get the heck away.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's going to be different. If it's just a miserable, crappy mood that I'm in, I'll talk to a friend or I'll text Tony, look at the cat. There's a couple of, and this is crazy, couple of TikToks that make me just howl. There's this one, this Penny the talking cat.
Yes.
And it's this fat tabby cat whose name is Penny. And these people have like 3 cats and 4 dogs and a lizard and I don't know what. But whenever they do these videos, and her little girl's about 5 or 6, and she does Penny's voice. right? And so Penny talks,
Yeah.
and she always wants ham. And so I'll find a Penny the cat one, and it just cracks me up, or something stupid like that, and just cracks me up. So then you make yourself laugh, kind of, or find something that will make you laugh,
Yeah. Oh, I
and
don't know. Some of these days I use TikTok for that, Like
yeah,
it has been a true blessing. I mean, you choose what you want to watch, right?
right, yeah,
People can say what they want about it, but when you need that pick me up, oh my
hmm,
goodness, there's so much humor on there.
yeah,
You
I
know,
know, and yeah, and people like, if you don't like it, same as the TV, shut it off.
yep,
Find
that's right.
something that you do like, find there's a million genres of things out there. So just find what you like. You don't have to watch it all or
Yeah,
look at it all, right? But
yeah,
yeah, it can make you laugh so much.
yeah. It's important, or throw on a comedy on YouTube even, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
or
Yeah,
just something to escape into, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, that's so
yeah,
important. Yeah, so
yeah.
TikTok, everybody. Support TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much me.
That's Trudy. Well, it's been a
That's
pleasure having you here to talk
oh, it
with
was so nice.
me.
So nice that you asked me. I'm just touched,
Well,
tickled that you
you're one
did.
of my favorites, Trudy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And we're gonna have you back for our season 2. We're gonna have some new things coming up that I won't spoil right now, but I'll surprise everybody later with. So it'll be
Sounds good.
nice. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
would be completely grateful if you would come back and chat with me.
absolutely. I would love to.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Trudy.
Okay, you're most welcome, and thank you again for having me.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank you for joining us at the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast.